question. Assemblyman Chang.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Thank you. And thank you all for being here. And thank you for the panel. And one panel we're really missing, and it should be very important, is where's the panel from New York City, which has at least 900,000 students. And I don't see them in this panel. But since you represent the state, I guess you represent all. Okay, now, my colleagues from Novikov and Simpliski regarding about financial incentives and consequences, maybe we should have something both. Okay, financial, maybe some private sector, maybe give some incentive like reward cards or financial incentive for both parents and students reaching certain milestones. It'd be perfect in tense. They should get some rewards, maybe some goals like that, and in terms of 27% are absenteeism. I mean, that's astounding. But what are the primary causes you think? And are there huge difference between upstate and downstate, like New York City is? They employ almost half the kids in your 2.5 million kids.
New York City is actually doing a bit better than some of the other cities in the state of New York as far as the chronic absenteeism piece. But it really crosses demographics. We know that chronic absenteeism is most often seen with students of color, with students with disabilities, and with economically disadvantaged students. So we know where the subgroups are and what the issues are, but really it comes down to that individual student and that family, what they're going through, and what we can do to get that link back to school so that they're present to get instruction for the education they're entitled to.
Should maybe my suggestion is consequences should be maybe publicly develop boarding schools to make sure the kids are in schools and housed in this way. If there are certain circumstances, and maybe limited amount of public boarding schools. Your thoughts about that for the hardcore?
Really not familiar with creating boarding schools at this point. We do have residential placements for certain type of students across the state. And certainly we could look at what kind of students are served well in a residential placement. But we'd want to be careful with one size fitting all as far as the solution, because I think, any intervention is going to only work in that context with that student in that family. And we want to make sure we have a menu of options that school districts have, that communities have at their fingertips to try to deal with the things in their context. It may be sometimes there's suddenly a new economic issue in that region that has families not sending their kids to school. Who knows what it is? There could be some fear in that community where students aren't going to that school. And so, we need to be careful, I think, to have just one solution.
Okay. Well, Regent test, as my colleagues over here, Assemblyman Smith, we're going about regions, which I support. But, I've taken the Regent test myself, and maybe we should put some value on a Regent test. And I had a bill last year, maybe recommending for students who take the Regent test, maybe you should throw in 3 college credit for CUNY and SUNY. If they do very well, a 90% grade or A grades on all the CUNY tests, we'll throw in another 3 college credit for SUNY and CUNY to give them an incentive. Hey, I earned 6 college credit by doing all the Regent tests as an option and doing well. What's your thought about that?
We have a lot of dual enrollment programs going on in the state. We're probably the 6th in the nation for access to dual enrollment to get college credits while you're in school. There's lots of assessments associated with those, with the courses the kids are already taking in the school system. So I don't know if we want to attach another thing to a single sit down, take that test on that given day. The collective dual enrollment piece, where you have to get through a course, take the assessments in that course, prove to that person who has been given the stamp of approval from a college or university to teach that course, probably is of more value than adding credits to a single assessment.
Thank you. That's all I have, and thank you.
Thank you.